Coby, Coby.
Hey man, I don't know about you, man. My jersey in transit, man. I don't know about you.
Yeah, yeah. I'll order one immediately because they might not even re-sign this month. I don't care. I don't care. You make a
That
shot like that, you are forever a Charlotte Hornet.
I mean that man just gave us a permanent moment in time anyway. Who cares? It's all good. Hey,
Yeah.
hey man,
So
shout out to my brother Trav who said they should put that, like, they showed a still of the shot, and they should put that on the wall in Spectrum Center. I mean, why not?
yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
mean,
Oh
yeah.
definitely, definitely. Um, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I don't even know how to start this. First of all, for those of you that are tuning in, thanks. I know this is kind of impromptu for us to do this
Ain't
on
no,
a what is
this
today
is
on a
very
Wednesday.
impromptu.
Yeah, but
This is some Beyonce level type impromptu here, but
yeah, after last night, I called Jamal up and we talked about the game and we're like, we got to do a show tomorrow.
yeah, man.
We just have to do a show tomorrow. So hold on, give me one sec. One sec.
Yep. All right, man. While Kaza is doing whatever, man, just want to say what's up to everybody who's tuning in. Swag, what's up, man? Glad to see you, brother. We're probably gonna exclusively talk about the game last night, but we're probably gonna preview the game coming up on Friday as well, which I cannot wait for personally, man. We are super excited around here. We got Kaza
Yeah.
back.
All right, I'm back. I just had to do some shit. But so unless you've been living under a rock in the sports world, I think everybody who watches basketball on any level was tuned in to maybe I don't even think it's maybe it is the best play-in game of what 5 years we've been doing the play-in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
This
can't think of
is
one better.
the only one that's close was that Warriors Lakers some years back where LeBron hit the last second shot to
Right.
essentially knock the Warriors out. But I think at that time there was a lot of Warriors Lakers fatigue. This was well beyond those wars that LeBron and Steph had with Cleveland and Golden State. I think there was something different about that game, and this game was way more exciting because there was way more ebb and flow. If I had to like liken it to a boxing match, you know how I am about boxing, especially old boxing. Go back and watch Sugar Ray Leonard versus Thomas Hearns,
Yeah.
their very first fight. A lot of ebb and flow, and two tough, evenly matched opponents. Um, without there was some controversy. We'll get to that in a minute, but I mean, as far as exciting games go, I mean, you had everything. I don't know how many times I thought the Hornets had lost this game, and I don't know how many times I thought the Hornets won this game. I remember thinking, "Oh, that's game right there. Oh,
Yeah.
we up 5 with 12 seconds left. That's game."
Right.
And then
Right.
then suddenly we're down with 4 seconds, down one by with 4 seconds left. Yeah, I don't know. Jamal, what are your thoughts about just last night in general?
I mean, I'm gonna echo what you kind of said first, man. I went back and forth between looking at lottery picks versus, so what is going to be my victory post on Facebook going to be like. I went back and forth with that about 20 times during the fourth quarter, but I will say this to start out with. It was, if this makes sense, I was happy to see the Hornets win a not so pretty game. It wasn't the prettiest game I've seen the Hornets
Mm-hmm.
play. If you would have told me LaMelo Ball and Continental would have went 2 for 22 or whatever it was, and they still won the game, I would have called you crazy. I would have betted my money on the other side. And the thing is, with this young team, and to win like that without their two guys, with their two guys having off nights, I mean, that's how you win essentially playoff basketball. Because in playoff basketball, guess what? Something's not going to go right. Someone's going to be off. You're gonna get missed calls. Hint, hint, wink, wink. We'll get to that later. This is how you win in the playoffs. You win by making stops when you need to make stops, which they did, and you win by hitting big shots when you need to hit big shots, which they did. Shout out to LaMelo Ball, who struggled all game, but came up big when he needed to come up big. Shout out to Brandon Miller, who made me want to throw my TV out the window in the first half, but finally got it together in the second half, man. So it was, I mean, this game gave us everything a basketball game should give any fan.
The NBA was very happy with last night, even with the controversy, and I dare say more so because of the controversy.
Yeah,
because it has created
people are talking.
Right, it created this news story. Although it does, we will get to it, but it diminishes a little bit how good the game was, and because that's all people are talking about. But yeah, I agree. I think the Charlotte Hornets had to have learned a lot. I think, the last two playing games against Atlanta, in which they got blown out, and Indiana, in which they got blown out, they didn't realize that this would be like playoff basketball. And I know technically the play-in technically is not the playoffs, but it essentially is. It's
essentially
it's a game 7. Yeah. It's like a game 7, right? If you want to continue playing, you got to win. And those Indiana and Atlanta teams knew that, and they approached those games with that mindset. The Hornets did not in those games. I'm sure James Borrego may have, but the players in those games, it was obvious. LaMelo, Miles Bridges, the only two players left from those teams, just approached it like regular games and got blown out. I don't think they approached this like that. At least LaMelo and Miles did not. They knew what was at stake, and they approached it like a playoff game. And I think the Hornets got to see what that intensity is going to look like. Because, I mean, this is one game against the Miami Heat. And say what you want about the Miami Heat. People are like, oh, Bam man play. I mean, come on, Miami Heat, they won one less game than we did. Right. They're not like they're a juggernaut or some powerhouse. They were two evenly matched teams.
And real quick, guys, allow me to cut you off real quick, man, because I'm just kind of brought up a point I wanted to make. One thing I did not like, one thing that scared me going into this game, was how much love we were getting from the national media, which we are never accustomed to that. You understand what I'm saying? When Charles Barkley and Stephen A. Smith picked us to win, I'm like, oh, hell, that's it. Over.
The national media, I'm so sick of all of them because they don't know shit about Charlotte basketball. They don't know a goddamn thing about the Charlotte Hornets or LaMelo Ball or any. They know that they were hot at one time, but they don't know anything about them because the way they're talking about the Hornets today
you can tell they're just hopping on the bandwagon, right?
Well, yeah, right. They're mad at the Hornets for winning because Bam Adebayo was injured, and it's like, and they felt like the Hornets. It proved that the Hornets are undisciplined, which I kind of agree with. I've always felt like the Hornets need a little bit more discipline, but we talked about this on the phone yesterday. The Hornets are who they are, and they are where they at because of the way they play. If they hadn't had the injuries at the beginning of the season, they'd be a 50-win team easily, right? They were only 6 wins away from 50 with the injuries. I don't want to hear about how they play like, I heard someone say they play like it's always an N1 mixtape, and they were undisciplined. And I'm gonna disagree. I felt like they played hard, and to really face that kind of adversity, to come back and win. I mean, you're down 4 points. You're down 4 points with less than 10 seconds left. And I mean, I got to look at the ESPN win predictor, but that has to be 99.9% for Miami at that point.
I mean, absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. And what makes this even more beautiful, other than us just beating the team I hate the most, other than that, going into this game, man, this past season, we simply were not that good in clutch moments. I mean, I wish I had the fancy stat in front of me, man, but it's something like 0-12 or something like that. And then, you want to talk about previous history with the last two playing games, coupled on top of the fact that we were just not very good in the clutch this season. We blew a game to the Celtics where we were in it for 3 quarters and then fell apart in the 4th quarter. Same thing with the Pistons. It just wasn't looking good going into this game, to be very honest.
I think that's the discipline, right?
Right.
The discipline failed them early in the season. I would say that last night they hit the big shots when they needed to. That and now
Well,
it wasn't necessarily. For instance, there was one part where the Hornets were down 6, I think. Miles Bridges lobbed it to Brandon Miller. For some reason or another, Brandon Miller didn't throw down the lob. He came down with the ball. You could see Miles
right.
Bridges like, "Hey man, what's up?" He passes it back to Miles Bridges, but he's open for a three and he hits it. Hornets
And
down
he hits
3.
it.
So
Right.
a lot of pundits were saying how that just shows how undisciplined the Hornets were. You didn't take the easy 2, but at the same time, I mean, if you're Miles Bridges, he had been. We'll talk about him in a second, right? Just incredible all game, and you out on
Right.
4-3. Why not,
Why
right?
not?
And
Right.
it ended up being the correct play. The Hornets knew they had to make big shots, and they did. Coby White, LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, and Brandon Miller all hit these super clutch shots late in the game. And to me, that's the mark of a really dangerous team, just as much as being disciplined in the playoffs.
All right. So about this whole being disciplined thing and quote unquote style of play, because how many times have we heard that recently with LaMelo Ball in particular? His style of play is not going to win you any games. The style of play is not going to do this and blah 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 blah. I will offer this point, and and I'm not saying that anything's right or wrong, but I will just offer this counterpoint. We remember how rigid Steve Clifford was and with his coaching, and I'm not crapping on Clifford too much because I actually like Steve Clifford, but you remember we've had some coaches with some very rigid approaches, right? And it's never quite worked out well for this particular group. I think Charles Lee, the light bulb went off and said, you know what, I need to let these guys be these guys. I need to let them be who they are. Now, yeah, there are moments where I wish they would reel it in sometimes. I do. Don't get me wrong. I do believe they are very undisciplined at times. I get it. I scream at the TV sometimes at them. But at the same time, if you play basketball, if you are not having fun playing basketball, if you are playing tight
Right.
in a playoff situation, you have no shot at winning
No,
anything if you play like you're
absolutely.
playing under a microscope. You cannot win like that. I know that for
It.
fact.
I think if this had been like a 7-game series, then it's different. You can make adjustments, from game to game.
Right.
Win or go home. You got to it's like game 7. You got to hit big. I'll tell you this much: the teams that win the game 7s are not the most disciplined teams.
Right.
They're the teams that take the big risks and hit the big shots. Think about every
Right.
game 7 you've ever seen. I mean, it comes down to the big shot at the
What,
end.
what
Not
was that shot? Was that shot Kyrie Irving took in that finals? Was that a good shot? No, it
No, that
wasn't a
was a
good
terrible
shot.
shot.
It was a terrible shot.
They had missed 11 straight field goals between the two teams. They were both tired. He's got a defender right in his face, and he just says, "You know what? I'm gonna chuck this 3," and that ended up winning Cleveland his only championship. Discipline. I'm not saying discipline is overrated. The Hornets do need discipline for long term, but as far as last night's game, I felt like the Hornets did what they had to do. Like everyone was like, "Well,
Yeah.
they gotta stop shooting so many threes." Miami's game plan was simple. We know they're going to shoot threes, so we're just going to take the high percentage shots. We're going to get in the paint, we're going to score in the paint, and we're going to trade 2s for 3s and see how well their 3-point shooting holds up under immense defensive pressure and an occasional zone. And it
Yeah.
almost worked. It
Right.
really almost worked. If the Hornets had gone away from, well, we can't shoot threes against this Miami team, they would have got crushed because they
What?
can't match
What?
him the points in the paint. They wouldn't have been able to stop uh Adebayo if he hadn't got injured. They couldn't even stop Mitchell from going to the basket. So
Yeah,
coming out playing,
Beyond Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, yeah. Where the hell did he come from?
dog, where Mr. Akeem Olajuwon's little brother or some shit. Someone was out here just like block. He looked
Dude,
like David Robinson's clone or some shit. I was mad.
but look, and again, man, not just like you said, not to say that discipline is overrated, but it is overstated sometimes, depending on context. And also, I felt like in the fourth quarter, we got it together when we needed to get it together. When we needed to slow it down and make a play,
Yes,
we did that in spots when we needed to.
that's why. So I don't know if you guys watch First Things First. I actually like that show. I don't really watch many of the Talking Head shows, but I do watch that one. But they were very critical of LaMelo Ball.
Of
Very.
course.
And Nick Wright, who
Called
I've
him a
always given
clown.
some leeway. Right. I've always given him some leeway because he was a Cam Newton fan. He defended Cam Newton when no one else did. But at the same time, man, he was pretty hard on LaMelo Ball. And it's like LaMelo Ball did what stars are supposed to do. You win the game. You say, there's no one on the floor better than me right now. I'm going to go win the game. And LaMelo Ball felt like, oh, we lost Jamal. LaMelo Ball felt like, he had lost the game with the turnover and fouling Tyler Hero, which that wasn't a foul. We'll talk about that in a minute. But he came back and he made the shot that he was supposed to make to win the game. Oh, we got Jamal's having the same issues that Amazon Prime was having last night. Hold on one second. I agree with that. Nick Wright, like I said, the only reason I even really like oblige Nick Wright is because he was a big fan of Cam Newton when everyone else when everyone else, was shitting on Cam Newton. Hold on a second. Jamal's trying to get back in. So there he goes.
All
All
right,
right.
guys. Sorry, I suck. My
Jamal's
bad.
back. Just like Amazon Prime last night. How you gonna have dog? I almost went to Jeff Bezos' house
dude,
last night.
dude, unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Unacceptable,
Just
man.
just how
In the
bizarre
fourth
that
quarter, too, man. In the fourth quarter,
in the
really,
fourth quarter with the game on. Yeah, but anyway, I digress. But yeah, I felt like they were just a little too critical of LaMelo Ball, considering that he did what he had to do. He won the game. He thought he messed the game up. Like you said, I thought I put the game up. Although that was not a foul on Tyler Hero. Let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room right now.
yeah.
I'm going to say something somewhat controversial. You'll feel me on this, and I think our fans will too. One, I don't like what LaMelo did. I do not like it. I wish he had not done it.
Right.
And I agree with the idea that it should have been called at least a flagrant. And I think an ejection might have been too much. But I also agree with Eric Spoelstra's take that LaMelo thought he got fouled. He didn't think he knew he got fouled. And he got frustrated and grabbed Bam's ankle. Bam was already falling. LaMelo didn't help that much. Okay.
Right.
I also feel like his apology in the post game. LaMelo needs a PR guy. Okay. He really, really does. Okay. I just felt like that wasn't a good look. He didn't take any accountability for it. I got hit in the head. I don't know what I was doing. I felt like it wasn't a good take. However, sometimes you want your team to have some edge, right?
Yeah.
And teams feel like they can push the Charlotte Hornets around.
Funk
And
them around.
LaMelo and everyone else on this team never feels like they get the respect that they deserve from the refs or the league, right?
Yep.
Before that even happened, I made a post on Facebook saying, the Hornets at 6.5-point favorites. Refs got to be on FanDuel because Miami was already in the bonus in the first quarter. It was already looking kind of weird. And then LaMelo clearly pushed on that shot into Bam. You know what? Fuck it. I've seen Bam Adebayo throw shoulders into people for illegal screens and knock them out of games. You know what? fuck it. Get your big ass up and play the game. And if you injure, hey, that's just part of the game. You're still gonna make your 20-something million dollars. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear it from Miami fans. I certainly don't want to hear from Eric Spoelstra, who had the greatest flopper in NBA history on his team for 4 seasons. Get out of here. Get out of here. You know what? Y'all can spend the whole offseason thinking about it.
Anybody got a fire extinguisher around here? Because I got to cool you off real quick, man.
I don't want to hear it. People be treating LaMelo and Miles like we saw what Detroit tried to do, and we're gonna see what Detroit gonna try and do if the Hornets end up playing in the first round. It's not gonna work. We don't do that anymore in Charlotte. No.
I will add to that, man. I don't know if I could say that any better, and I'm gonna steal a point that I heard on the radio this morning. This is not an original thought, but I agree with it 100%. LaMelo is a very impulsive player. I think we all can agree on that. On all levels, he is very impulsive, and I think we all can also agree that LaMelo gets a shit whistle every game, right?
Every game.
So when LaMelo's going to the hole, getting hit on his wrist, getting hit on his arm, getting pushed, and not getting foul calls, what is he going to do after a while? He's going to impulse. And what he did was very impulsive. I'm not saying that makes it right, but I want people to understand why it happened in the first damn place. That's what I need people to talk about. What led LaMelo Ball to that action? And what led LaMelo Ball to that action is frustration being built up by the whistle he never gets. Guys, I'm with you 100%. Cryami, cry more. Jesus and God cares about your tears. We don't. I don't give a damn about how much Cryami cries. Cry more. Cry your wife. Cry your daughter. I don't care.
Didn't the Miami Heat get awarded a playoff spot a few years ago based on a game they won against Charlotte in which they were incorrectly awarded a 3-pointer? Anybody else remember that? Yeah, because I do.
I do
not want to hear
distinctly.
I do not. Yeah.
Don't want to hear it.
Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear. The only reason I hate it happen is because now the narrative will be, well, Charlotte only won because Bam Adebayo, who by the way only averages 20 points a game, was out. Like he was gonna block the Coby White shot that sent in overtime. I don't want to hear. That's all I have to say about that. And you know what? I like the fact that this. If this makes the Hornets the bad boys of the NBA, then so be it.
Fuck it. Fine. Good. It's good for them.
Maybe that's what they needed.
You know what I'm about to say, and I won't harp on this too much because I know we're talking about this game in particular for the most part, but something clicked and something changed with that fight going back to the Detroit game in Charlotte.
Yep.
That let me know. And I'm talking about not just on the basketball court, I'm talking about Charlotte Hornets fan culture, the team culture, everything. Something changed that night. And I hate to sound like melodramatic, but I truly believe this. That night, we told the world, y'all are not going to come in here and punk us anymore.
No.
Teams, fans, everybody. This ain't the soft Charlotte Hornets no more. You come in here, we're going to kick your ass. Maybe not on the court. We're going to win the fight or the game. It's not happening anymore. And I think the Hornets are sick of – well, let me back up just a little bit. I hope the Hornets are tired of getting punked. And I'm going to look ahead a little bit here. Hopefully, we win this game Friday, which would match us up with the Detroit Pistons, who Grant Williams said out of his mouth, punked us the last game, okay?
Mm-hmm,
so I want the team to get to hold all that in. And hopefully that pushes them to be a tougher team going into that series. And I hope that was a changing point.
Absolutely. I think that put the whole league on notice. The Hornets lost that game because Detroit's a better team, but also I feel like that kind of took them out of it a little. They were, Detroit's used to being like that. The Hornets are not, but I think it kind of awoke something in them. And I hope that they carry this into whatever iteration this era of the Hornets is. Right. I hope that this is their identity.
We need the edge. We need that edge, whatever it is.
We need the edge. The teams feel like they can out physical us, which is not true. The Hornets are a big team. like the shortest person is Con Knipple, who's 6'6",
Yeah.
right? Like
Right.
we got to start being more physical. And I need Charles Lee, who, by the way, anything bad I ever said about that man is gone now. He coached a hell of a game last night. For once, he didn't get out coached by Spoelstra.
That man coached his ass off yesterday, man.
Absolutely. But I need him to maybe say to the players, okay, I'm going to start advocating for you guys with the refs more. He's got to be a little bit more aggressive with the referees to force him into these whistles. It's to see someone like SGA, who obviously is a great player, right? He's
Right.
league superstar, elite talent.
Right.
But that man, you could be in the stands and breathe on him and he get 2 shots, right?
Right.
Why doesn't LaMelo get that kind of? Is it reputation? Is it his play style? Is it the Hornet? That's Charles Lee's job to do that.
Yeah. And look, and the thing is, he needs to be the smart one to know exactly how to navigate that situation. We're not, you know what I mean? Like it's happening for reasons unknown. We can't answer that question, and we're not. I'm not making a LaMelo Ball SGA comparison on the court, but I mean LaMelo Ball doesn't get the respect that SGA gets when it comes to whistles. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, somebody with that kind of talent should at least get the respect to not have to have blood drawn to get a foul call.
Sometimes I think it's because LaMelo is not athletic for his size, but he has size. And we've seen that it's the Shaquille O'Neal effect, the LeBron James effect.
Yeah.
Although I think LeBron has gotten a lot of favorable whistles, but the thing is, sometimes the refs don't make calls because they're so big, right? They're so physical.
Y'all are so big, you can handle contact.
Exactly, right? So when LaMelo Ball is driving, he's 6'7", he's driving past a 6'4" guard. The final play or the final basket, the game-winning basket, he got fouled.
On that play,
and it was obvious. He got smacked on
that type of play, on that type of foul. And I don't give a damn if he was 7'4", 360 pounds. That's a damn foul every time. I don't care how big you are.
Also, that was not a foul on Tyler Hero on that 3-pointer out of bounds. I don't know. I feel like the refs realized they screwed up with not calling tripping on LaMelo when he tripped Bam, and spent the whole game making up for it because they realized it was a pretty bad miss considering Bam did not return for the game. Right?
But there's always a but, and we can do this all night if we wanted to. But I'm going to do it one more time. I don't want to hear it because there was a 5-point swing on another call that they missed where Miles Bridges got obviously fouled, and they called another touch foul on Hero, which resulted in a 3-point play. So again, we can do this all night, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I felt like the officiating on both sides from top to bottom was generally kind of poor. But it felt like early that the Hornets weren't going to get the calls because Miami was playing such a physical game on both ends. They were, going to the paint, forcing the refs' hands on whistles, and then they were just up in the shooter's face. They gave like no room to anyone, and I just felt like the refs were just going to call a game that wouldn't favor the Hornets. So,
and real quick, man, I want to just speak to Austin's point, man. I don't know if you ever saw that clip where Embiid, what he did was way worse when he, like LaMelo, it wasn't an accident. Let me be clear. LaMelo's could pass for accident if you wanted to look at it that way. Embiid was on purpose. It was way more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Egregious.
Than LaMelo's was. So I don't want y'all to talk about suspension and all this other crap, man. No, man.
Absolutely not. Joel Embiid, it's the Charlotte effect. If LaMelo Ball is a Laker,
yeah, come on now.
Right. Speaking of getting up in shooters' faces, let's talk about something that everyone is talking about today, and it's mainly people who don't know anything about basketball. Con Knipple.
Con Knipple, yeah.
Con Knipple 0 for 6 from 3. Just didn't play well at all last night. I thought he did okay defensively, but it was clear that Heat were trying to target him and LaMelo on switches. And he just didn't play a good game. And in fact, he got benched the last few minutes of regulation and all of overtime. And it ended up being a
Being the right
gutsy
decision.
and the right decision because Coby White was hot. So now a lot of people are like, oh, that's the rookie of the year. That's your rookie of the year. And it's like, first of all, I don't care who it is. You go with the hot hand. Coby
Yeah.
White was nuclear last night. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
he didn't miss
Big
a shot
balls.
in the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
right? And why wouldn't you play him, a veteran, right?
Right.
Who is on fire over a rookie who is struggling?
Yeah. Here's the thing. You think Coach Lee has time to sit here and think about, yeah, man, I don't know if the rookie of the year race is going to be affected right now. You really think Coach Lee has the time
You
to
don't
think
give
about
no.
that in that situation? That's number one. Number two, the more I think about it, the more insignificant this race is to me right now. I'm starting to
I
care
don't
less and
care.
less.
Yeah.
I'm starting to care less and less. It'll be great if he gets it. If he doesn't get it, fine. Hey, Cooper Flagg's gonna be a superstar anyway. Whatever. I don't care at this point. I care about the Charlotte Hornets becoming a better version of themselves game by game, which leads to me saying this. We should kind of, in a weird way, be happy Continental struggle. You know why? Because every every superstar that you see on TV right now, they have all went through this. Kobe Bryant
Yep.
damn went through this.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody went through this. Every rookie has had that moment where the lights are too bright or whatever the case is. Now, and I will give the Miami Heat credit for one thing. They did defend Continental very well. You could easily tell the game plan was, no, we're not going to let this guy get a shot off if it was up to us. So I will give them credit for that as well. But we should be happy this happened because you would you bet money Continental was going to perform like this Friday? I wouldn't.
Continental is going to be Steph Curry Friday night.
Yeah.
You could see because he's been in a slump for about 10 games now, right?
Yeah.
But
And I
this
don't
is the
know. And
first
I don't
time
know if his back is affecting him or not. I truly don't know
right.
that.
And this is the first time he's really been benched, right? And you could see the look on his face.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Like he wanted to play so bad, and he was so angry. He's probably in the gym right now after an overtime game. He's probably like, look, I got some rest because I was on the bench. I'm gonna get some shots up.
Yep.
I don't expect him to have now. He may not, shoot the lights out, but players like him, you can tell he's a coachable dude, right?
Absolutely.
I think that he's gonna be okay going forward in the Friday. But consider this: his last season of college, he played in the tournament, played all the way through the Final Four.
Yeah.
Gets drafted, plays in the summer league, plays every game in the summer league, plays every game in the preseason, plays 80 games. When's the last time any Hornets player played 80 games?
81 games to be exact. Yeah.
Played 81 games, and now he's got to play a play-in game. He doesn't even get a break before the playoffs. He's going to have to play. This man tired, considering the most games he'd ever played before was probably a 40-game season at Duke.
I'm willing to almost say it's almost a little too much to ask for a 19-year-old. It's almost a little too much. That's a lot of basketball.
A lot of basketball
in the 10th month span, man. So no, that like you said, any smart person, if you jumping off the Continental bandwagon from last night, man, just go stop it. It's ridiculous, man.
And a lot of people, what's up, Phrase?
Praise in the building.
Let me thank the New York Knicks for sitting their starters a week ago. Because the Hornets winning that game gave them home court advantage in last night's game. If they had lost that game, Miami would have had it.
Kaza, real quick, Swagner, that is a good point. Zion James did also play all 82 games as well, but you could also tell he's a little tired, and he's slumping on his side as well.
Yeah, he didn't shoot well, and he's a 3-and-D kind of guy. I do feel like, however, I think one of the things that is getting overlooked in last night's game is the defensive performances from the Charlotte Hornets. Right, even though they gave up all these points in the paint, I thought they played pretty good defense. Brandon Miller, something on defense. He's been getting cooked a lot on defense. I need him to
Yeah,
channel his inner Paul George on that front. But
and I
this
need
is a
him to
good
calm
segue.
down.
Yeah, man, I don't know what's up with the fouls. It's crazy for him to essentially have 3 fouls, it hardly play in the first half, and still in the game with 21 points on
Right.
50% shooting, 50% from three. I think if without those fouls, I think that it would have been an easier game for Charlotte.
Yeah,
But
and
this
real
is
quick, because I want to talk about Brandon Miller for a real quick second here, man. Down the stretch where we didn't beat some of those good teams I wish we would have beaten, like like the Celtics, like the Pistons. Brandon Miller's got to show up, man. He's got to be the second guy. He's got to be the bona fide second guy. We need him every single game when we're playing the Pistons and the Celtics and whatever good team we have in front of us. He's got to consistently be that guy. So the foul trouble, he's got to cut it out, man. He's got to cut out the turnovers.
yeah,
And let me, again, I'm going to be very fair here. I know Brandon Miller is still a very young player. He's still trying to figure it out. But in different ways, much like LaMelo, they've got to channel their They got to kind of draw back those emotions a lot, man, and focus a little more on the
yeah.
professionalism of the game, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I've always maintained the Hornets' only problem this season is the discipline. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
But he came up. He made big shots when we needed him
He
to.
made big shots when we needed it to.
And I think he'll mature. This is really his third. This is his third season, but his second real full season because he spent most of last season injured. He only played 27 games last season, and
Yeah.
and he missed 20 something games this season. So still a lot to learn. But I think my game MVP is not LaMelo Ball.
Who you got?
You know who I'm gonna say? It's Miles Bridges.
Miles Bridges.
Miles Bridges. Now
Absolutely.
I may never buy a Miles Bridges jersey, and I feel like the off the court stuff, although that was in the past, it happened. It is what it is, right?
Right.
But over the last few seasons, there has not been a Charlotte Hornet that has been more committed than Miles Bridges.
Absolutely.
When everybody else was hobbled and crippled, this man was still giving us
that man showed up to play damn near every game,
averaging 20 points a game. This is the only season that he has in the last 4 that he has not averaged 20 points a game, and that's really because everyone else it came out. Miles looked good on both ends of the floor. He hit the big shots. He had the game-sealing block. Really, and that people overlook that block because Melo hit the shot, but my man touched the sky to get that block. He was not going to let that go in. He was not going to let that go in. And I was very happy to see Miles Bridges. And he even said in the post game press conference, he referenced those playing losses to Atlanta and Indiana.
Right.
You got to think him and LaMelo were the only people left from those teams. They got to remember those. And I think he knew that they could win that game. And I know everyone wants to trade Miles, but man, I don't know.
Hey man, I'll add this on, man. First of all, look, say whatever you want to about Miles Bridges, but that man is the heart and soul of this team, and I dare somebody to disagree with me there. So I'll add this to what you just said, man. Look, even though LaMelo Ball struggled shooting the ball last night, I'm going to point out now. First of all, I agree with you. Miles Bridges is the MVP of the game. I agree with you there. But there are 3 players last night who you could clearly tell we're not losing this damn game to this damn team tonight. Miles Bridges was the main one, but also LaMelo Ball, even though he struggled shooting the ball, and Coby White. Here's the little fact for you. The last 4 times Coby White has gotten eliminated, which team eliminated him? The Miami
Heat. Yep.
And again, those 3 guys, I don't know if they had a conversation with each other or what, but it was clear those 3 guys said, nah, we cannot go out like this to this team tonight. But more about Miles Bridges. I think what we need to highlight with Miles Bridges last night was the defense. The shots look great, man, and it's all in the little reverse layup he hit in the fourth quarter where he blew by Pele Larson and hit the layup. That was big, you know what I mean? But to stick that man on Jaquez, who we know kills us in previous game, to put that man on Khalil Ware, where he was David Robinson for one night. Coach Lee made those adjustments to put Miles Bridges on the best offensive player every time down the floor, and it paid off every single time, man. Davion Mitchell got for that bullshit layup one time, but outside of that, Miles Bridges got every stop they needed him to get in the fourth quarter.
I think the Davion Mitchell stuff was just, they didn't game plan around him, and I think, if Bam's in the game, Mitchell doesn't get the looks and the touches that he got, right? So I'll give him some on Mitchell. Wiggins had a good game. I mean, he players had good games, but Miles made the big plays on both ends of the floor to play that kind of defense and to still score 26 points and rebounds, 9 rebounds. I mean, I just a great performance. So my only fear though is that they may have left it all out on the floor Tuesday.
Yeah.
And to go
don't
on
run out of gas before Friday. Now,
so
let me cut you off real quick. Here's the good news with that, because I agree with you. That's a fear of mine as well. But we have more time off than whoever's going to win or lose this game.
That's true.
Tonight. So that's a good thing. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's true. No, I mean, perfect time to talk about Friday.
Yeah.
Because this is tricky. I felt like the 76ers are the biggest conundrum in the NBA.
They're a weird team to gauge, right?
Let me tell you guys something. In 2012, the Philadelphia 76ers and the Toronto Raptors had the same record. Right?
Yep.
One of those teams has a championship in that time.
Yep.
And a string of playoff appearances. The other team has never made it past the second round.
Yep.
The Philadelphia 76ers had 7 first-round picks in a 5-year span at one time. 2 of them number 1 picks, 4 of them top 3 picks. And look at them. That's crazy. They're right. The 7th, 8th seed. You have Paul George and Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. I don't know if they're good or not. I don't know if they're sandbagging. I don't know. Right. I said that to say that I don't know if the Hornets can beat them. I really don't, because we know how the 76ers like to play the Hornets. They're going to give the ball to Embiid. They already saw Bam before he got hurt was having some success.
Time out. So, as of right now, Embiid has appendicitis, and he is out indefinitely. Now, we know the Hornets' luck, Kaiser. We know how this
gonna
works. Philly loses tonight, and magically out the fucking thin air. Oh, I'm good now. I can play Friday. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. I'm ready to go.
To go.
And I don't care what goes on. Embiid is gonna get his 30 to 35 against us.
Nah, I'm gonna need. They're gonna have to call like Pat Connaughton in the game to elbow him in the appendix or some shit. You got to take one for the team.
I can't take it this time, man.
Fuck Philly. I hate the way they play the Hornets. They lean on the refs with Embiid, and it's so frustrating. And the Hornets would have a similar problem in Miami. They would have a similar problem like they were having with Adebayo and that Diabate. And I love Moussa Diabate, but he ain't got enough rocks in his pocket to handle Joel Embiid.
Let me ask you this question, man. Do you feel more confident if Embiid does not play? If it's just Maxey and George we got to deal with, do you feel a little more confident with that?
Yeah. If Joel Embiid doesn't play, Philly might get blown out because teams that have an inside presence, you must rely on that to beat the Hornets. Miami's strategy was sound. We're going to take the high percentage shots on the inside and hope the Hornets don't shoot 43% from 3, right? With our good perimeter defense.
Right.
Philly can do that. I mean, Maxey is a good defender. Paul George, of course, is a good defender. If you don't have Joel Embiid, you're not going to score 56 points on the inside. You're just not going to. And are you going to outshoot the Charlotte Hornets? Probably not. So Having said that, I feel like Orlando is the better matchup. Uh, Charlotte has exercised those demons with the Magic, that they had a few years ago. I think they won the season series 3 games to 1.
I don't know. Did the Magic beat us this year? I don't.
I
I
don't
know we
know.
at least got three against them. We at least got three against them. But let me
Yeah,
offer this.
so
I will offer this as far as the Orlando Magic go. And Kaza, I am only worried about one thing with the Orlando Magic. Swagner, I kind of don't want to say it because Swagner, I kind of want you to beat me to the punch because I think you know what I'm going to say when I'm talking about the Orlando Magic. But I'll go ahead and say it, man. Franz Wagner. That is who
Franz
I'm worried
Wagner,
about
man.
with the Orlando Magic. I know somebody's out there like, why are you so worried about him? Because he's one of those fuckers who waits for the Hornets to have his Hall of Fame game. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's back from injury now. Which look, it makes a difference. Now, here's one other thing to note: the Magic they've got some internal stuff going on with them right now. I mean, they're talking about firing the coach, regardless of whether he wins or not. They're talking about players not getting along. They got a lot of stuff going on. You know what I mean? So I don't know how that may or may not affect them on Friday if that is the team we play on Friday. But I still maintain that guy should not should, but that guy could make a difference if that is who we play on Friday, which makes this game that is about to come on very interesting. I really want to see what Friday is going to bring because I mean it's a
So
lot to break
yeah,
down.
I could see a scenario in which the Magic win because MB is not playing and suddenly his appendicitis heals and he plays us and they take the 8 seed. Which here's the thing, like we said, Philly is so unpredictable. A Detroit Philly uh first round, that's probably not as I wouldn't bet the chalk on that. I'll just say that.
Yeah, no,
Philly could end
I
up
look,
upsetting Detroit.
I hate to say this, man. A Philly Detroit series is probably a little more intriguing than us playing Detroit. I hate to say that, and I say it for this reason, because here's one factor we're not talking about. No, Joel Embiid. Let's just say, for argument's sake, he's out for an extended amount of time. They still got Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond's not a scrub, man. Yeah.
No,
That
yeah.
man led the league. That man led the league in rebound in 4 straight years. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he's more than a suitable replacement. Depending on which Paul George you get, that is a big factor. Not only just for us, but for the Sixers going forward. Again, they're a very tough team to really break down, man.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Both of these games are not gimmies for the Hornets. Although
Absolutely not.
we've beaten both of these teams, but we'd only be the second team to win both games in the play-in from in order to make the playoffs. It
From
would
our
be
spot,
tough.
yeah.
Yeah, and having said that, I would not be disappointed in the Hornets if they lost.
Right.
It would be a learning experience. I would prefer they
I do want
lose
to
that
win.
they well, I do want to win, but I think the best thing, and this is going to sound crazy, the best thing for the Hornets is to lose to the Detroit Pistons in the first round, because that's going to be a humbling and educational experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's going to be a tough physical matchup. Detroit, they're the better team. I mean, they just are, right?
They just are,
I got
yeah.
to give them
Yep.
I got to give them the props. They're the better team, and they probably beat the Hornets like 4-1 or 4-2 at the best. But that's probably like maybe a gentleman's sweep against the Hornets. The Hornets need that experience. They need to know what it's like in order to lose to a better team and feel angry and hungry about it going in the next season, just like
Right.
Detroit did last season. I feel like the Hornets, this year's Hornets, are last year's Pistons. So
Yeah.
that's what I would like to see. Now, if they were able to somehow beat Detroit in the first round, I'm gonna get wild with everyone else, but that's what I would like to see.
And I think y'all agree with me here, man. Like this is not a typical playing team. We won 43 games, man, and it just so happened we just did it in a extremely competitive Eastern Conference this year. So this is like not some normal playing team who's just kind of sneaking in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like I think, and I say that to say we're at a point where we don't care as much about just stocking lottery picks. We're at a
No,
point where
yeah.
it's like the moves we make going forward are to make the team better and to get into that contention. To get
I'll say something controversial. The Hornets don't need to make any major moves in the offseason. Your starting five has the best record of any starting five in the league. Since
right,
since I mean that's a fact, right?
right.
Second best record overall since the All-Star break, only to the San Antonio Spurs. There's something there. I think your best bet is to develop and foster, and where you look to add pieces is we got the Trey Mans and the Sion Jameses and those that's where you really want to shore up the team.
I'll be very specific. We got Xavier Tillman and Trey Mann wasting roster spots right now. Those
But
are two roster
mm-hmm.
spots you can automatically
And
upgrade
I
right
like
there.
Trey Man. I like
Trey
but,
Mann, but he's just not going to fit here. I mean, it's pretty known by now. He's just not going to fit here, and that's okay. It's all right. Nobody mad. You know what I mean? So there's opportunity. Like you said, you don't have to swing the bat, but you can still make a significant upgrade.
So let me tell you this. All right, so Giannis is going to be the prize this offseason.
Talked about, yeah, no doubt.
And it wouldn't shock me if he gave the Hornets some consideration. The Hornets are a fun team. They're getting a lot of media coverage now. You come to a team like the Hornets, they're contenders overnight with the Giannis. Now, Nick Wright, in all his haterism, said earlier today that he feels like the Charlotte Hornets should offer LaMelo Ball.
I don't even want to hear it no more, but go ahead.
Yeah. LaMelo Ball, Tijon Salon.
Just stop it.
And 3 future firsts for Giannis. Personally, I feel like that trade is dumb, and I think I think we've talked about this before. You cannot trade LaMelo Ball, regardless of what you think. You cannot, right? But if he's out there and he's interested in coming to Charlotte, do you put a package together for him? And if so, what does it look like?
That damn show don't include a LaMelo Ball. That defeats the purpose of trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I agree with that.
I'm not going to go on a rant. Nick, what? Why the hell does Nick Wright still have a job on TV? Anyway, I digress. To answer your question, yes, you damn sure put a package together. Now, here's the part that may hurt, because whatever package you put together for Giannis, as much as we just praise the guy, it would have to include Miles Bridges. It just would. There's just no way around that. You include Miles Bridges plus whatever you have to do to match the salary. That is not one of the core pieces. You're not getting rid of Melo, Knipple, Miller. You're just not. That's just dumb. That defeats the purpose. Okay, so you package whatever you do to match the salaries. Man, give them however many draft picks they want. I think me and you agree. We don't give a damn about those draft picks at this point.
Yeah. I agree. I was thinking that last night. I would hate to see Miles Bridges go, only because of how committed he's been to the team, and he realizes the team stuck through him when he was doing some knucklehead shit off court. Yeah. But at the same time, I really think you could put together an attractive package to Milwaukee, because Milwaukee doesn't want to just lose Giannis for nothing, right?
Right.
You give them a 20-point per game guy and a bunch of firsts. And I think you might have something there, but we can dream. Before we go, this is $1 million question. Does Coby White's shot or LaMelo Ball's game-winning layup overtake Alonzo Mourning's game-winning shot against the Boston Celtics in the 1993 playoffs as the greatest shot in Hornets history?
My short answer is no, and for one reason. The shot Alonzo Mourning hit was a series-winning shot. It's that simple. Look, as much as I would like to be in the moment right now, because that moment was incredible last night. Nah,
so,
man.
I mean, I thought about this last night. Recency bias be damned. I feel like the Coby White shot was bigger than the LaMelo shot.
I agree with.
and it might be bigger than the Alonzo Mourning shot. And let me explain myself here.
All right.
The Alonzo Mourning shot was big because, like you said, series winning shot against, a legacy team. Now, granted, it wasn't the Celtics of old, but Kevin
Right.
McHale was still on that team, right?
Yeah.
They won a series in which they were underdogs. Plus, Alonzo Mourning hitting a jump shot. Alonzo Mourning's a center. He had been working on his jump shot that season, but that was his rookie year. To him to hit that shot to send the Celtics home, that's huge. However, in the time since that shot and in the time since last night, it's been mostly misery for us Hornets fans. And
Right.
when it comes to the postseason, besides the Vlade Divac, Glenn Rice years were really good, and then they moved to New Orleans, and it has been just misery since then. 2 playoff appearances, getting bounced by the Miami Heat in the last decade has just been misery.
And then LeBron James just torturing us for a good 4 or 5 years.
Last night felt like that shot felt like just a release of finally. And I know it wasn't a playoff series. The play-in is not a playoff, but that was win or go home, right? It's a postseason win.
No
Plus,
doubt.
that shot, he shouldn't have made that shot. I think you can reasonably say
it was a ridiculous shot.
Yeah, Alonzo Mourning could make a wide open jump shot, every once in a while. Coby White coming off a screen that didn't manifest with a defender in his face fading out of bounds on a turnaround. I mean, to send the game into OT, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I'll say this much, and this is this is hyperbole, but Coby White shot a coupled along with LaMelo Ball shot, and look, keyword could be the turning point for this franchise for bigger things. I will agree on that point. Yeah.
All right. We'll see. The next step is Friday. Hopefully the Hornets are ready. If they didn't, then if they don't make it, it was a good season. We'll have a season ending show, of course. We didn't do one for the Panthers because life shit. But the draft is in 8 days, so maybe we'll do one then. Let Dan cook. A great time to be a sports fan in the Carolinas. I mean, all the pro teams, the Panthers, the Canes, the Hornets, and Charlotte FC.
In the playoffs. Charlotte FC again, off to a hot start, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Of course, World War III is going to happen next week. So figures, right? Just hard luck, right? Nukes will fly any moment now.
Hopefully, we'll all get nuked before we see some more success.
Yeah. Oh, well. Charlotte, that's the curse of Charlotte. Charlotte.
Right. You got any shout outs, man?
Shout out to of course our fans for coming back rocking with us on this impromptu Wednesday. Just shout out to the city. There's a little buzz in the city. I love it. It's great.
I love it, man. I think my shout out's the same. I don't have any real shout out, man. Shout out to Phrase for tuning in, man. It's always good to have you, bro. Shout out to Swag, shout out to Austin, Bamboo, everybody who tuned in, who I can't see, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Kaiser, let's do this again soon, man. This was fun, bro.
Absolutely. Shout out to the Amazon Prime and the broadcast in general.
Right.
Terrible technical difficulties. The commentary was that Van Gundy who
shout out at the Van Gundy. God damn, man.
He said something. He's like, essentially he was talking about the Hornets run earlier in the season where they were hot after the new year, but he was like, well, they beat some teams that were not so good. What? Because I remember we blew the Oklahoma City Thunder out. We blew them out, right? We beat the Celtics, we beat the Knicks, we beat the Magic, we beat the Sixers, we beat the Spurs. What is he talking?
I'm sorry. What, sir? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When we did play, right? When we beat the Spurs, right? SGA did play when we beat OKC, right?
They was healthy.
Shut up.
The Celtics was healthy.
They didn't have Tatum, but they were good enough without him up to that point. So I want to hear that.
Yeah,
man.
I don't want to hear that. But yeah, poor broadcast. NBA do it. Have local guys call the games.
Oh, one more thing. It is. I will end on this note. It is a shame Eric and Dale did not call that game last night, man.
Yeah. Hey, Eric might have died. We might have lost him last night. So good thing. Good thing. So, all right, brother. You take